I'm rolling with FD.
I'm going to drop a couple bombs on the FD channel right now.
Who are you rolling?
I am rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
We are rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Oh, you know we rolling with FD, baby.
We got alphas and bros in the house.
That's right.
Peace out, my brother.
Woo!
I'm rolling with the F, the D.
Learn something new every day when you're rolling with FD.
Yeah, we are rolling with FD, baby.
I roll with one person, and that's FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
You gotta love it, man. This is a family thing.
That's good. That's good, man.
Hey, Renee, who you rolling with?
Rolling with FD.
Rolling with FD.
You don't have to ask. I'm rolling with FD.
My man. But see, Bless, who you rolling with?
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
That's how you just rolling, right? That's the whole thing, right? You roll with it.
You gotta let me know who you rolling with.
We're rolling with FD. You heard it first.
I'm rolling with FD.
I am rolling with FD.
I'm not just a pretty face, baby. JD, we should both do.
No, I'm not doing that.
What questions do you have for me? Right, Manny and Jeremy, who you rolling with?
We're rolling with FD. We don't want to get our asses kicked.
You gotta let the people know who you rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
What's up, everybody? I'm gonna do something a little different here today. We got the San Francisco 49ers on with the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings up 7-0. And we got a new guest on tonight. Just getting them in here. New guest. It's gonna be a fun conversation. Liberty. I tripped. The Las Vegas Aces had their celebration today. We shall talk about that. Look cool. Clay, what's up? What's going on? We're rolling with FD. What's going on? It's good to have you here. Good to be here. I'm so excited. Thank you for this conversation. I want to talk to this individual for a new breed for quite a while. It should be very cool. I'm always excited when we get new people on the show to give their perspective about the hobby, about sports in general, about life. So this should be real cool. Watching Astros Rangers here in Tennessee. See what's going on with Astros and Rangers right quick. I'm gonna turn both sporting events on so I can kind of see what's going down. Yeah. So it's 4-1 Texas right now. That's a big game. Big game. This is like October is one of those months where, there's nothing like this. You got football on, you got baseball on, basketball starts tomorrow night. It's going down, people. It's going down. October. I just wish in baseball. This is the golden question. You all tell me, how do we crack the code on this? How do we get more big name players? At least this year we have some actually in the playoffs. A collector's dream. Hello, everyone. Good to have you here. How do we get more big name baseball players in the playoffs themselves? You know what I'm talking about? Mike Trout, there are a few others, but how do we get it done? How does it happen? That is the question. It's good to see Harper doing his thing. That's going to be a nice World Series, though. I can tell you that. How's Brock Purdy looking tonight? Let's look at that. How is Brock Purdy? Oh, excuse me. Vikings up 10-0. Purdy right now is 6 of 8 for 62 yards. 7 minutes left in 7:33 in the first half. Purdy's getting the ball. Let's see what he does. You all us out there, are you Purdy believers or do you still have questions? I hear some people say, oh, I'm a firm believer in Purdy. Really? I don't know if I am. Big John, hey, what's up? What's going on? I don't know where I'm at on Purdy. I got to see a little bit more. We're going to see him start this drive off right here. Well, you know, they keep him throwing safe passes. I can't blame him. That's how you start a quarterback out. You gotta keep him in a zone, not asking him to do too much. See what he can do. Throw something safe. So we shall see. Any particular topics before we get New Breed on here? Anybody wants to talk about? Las Vegas Aces. Were you shocked that they repeated? I was not. Do you like WNBA basketball? I do. If you liked it, what are your thoughts on the entire playoff run? What are your thoughts on Aja Wilson? Within 5 years, she's done a lot. A lot. New Breed is getting close. He's almost here. He's almost here, people. I love WNBA basketball. I like gymnastics. I like female tennis. I like female bowling. I just like all sports in general. So I've talked to other sports enthusiasts where some don't like female sports as much, but to me, sports is sports. And there is a level of just fundamental play that makes the sports wonderful. Let me know what you think, though. My people in here, Collector's Dream, Big John, Clay Phillips. What you think of the Aces? The rally today looked crazy. Then we got to pull some of this up. May have no sound because I don't know what's being said at times, but let's get in here. Let's see about this. See what was going on today. The parade. All right, let's see what can we find here. Oh, is it going on right now? No, let's see. What can we find? Here we go. Here we go. Hold on 1 minute, people. Let me cue this up for you. I'll be right back. Yeah, this thing looks special. Let's see what's going on here. looked pretty special.
This is breaking news from Las Vegas.
Number 10, Kelsey.
I'm trying to get on that. Whoa. Oh, this is a year ago. Excuse me, people. Excuse me. What's on the float, though? 2023. Let's get on that float, though. Like, we talk about Colorado and we talk about the view that they give us. What's up with this? The Aces need somebody like this on the float in the parade, showing us what's going on here.
Celebrating for days already, but the official celebration for our back-to-back WNBA champions is finally here. The Las Vegas Aces Championship Parade and Rally is happening tonight. And Arch Care Hawkins is live on the strip this morning with all the details. Good morning.
Yeah, we need more footage, people. Much more. Newbury. Hello, we got Newbury. Newbury, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
What's going on with you?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm great, man. I just want to say thank you for having me, man. This is I can't thank you enough.
Newbury,
so
you know we've talked about this. We got
I'm just in awe, man, because I'm so much of a fan of your channel.
Thank you, bro.
And just to talk to you, I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
So now, so let's break it down. Let's talk about. So I got a little bit of an echo going on.
Okay.
Is that from? Do you have me on two different things?
Well, I just have you. I'm just on here on my phone, so that might just be the echo from the phone.
But you're also on a computer, right?
I was, but for some reason I can't get on.
Can you mute the computer?
Oh, I got. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's see what the sound sounds like.
Okay. Let me see. Because I could just turn
it on. We got to get deep, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we definitely. Absolutely.
So what part of Detroit are you in?
I'm on the west side of Detroit.
Okay, once upon a
west
time.
side. Like
how far away? I used to live in Farmington Hills.
Oh man, I'm in. I know that area well.
Yeah, lived in Farmington Hills for 2 years.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh sweet.
I used to go downtown all the time.
Oh yeah. They changed a lot downtown.
I can imagine because it was starting almost at that time. I left in let me think back. I got there in 2009. I left in 2011, 2012.
Okay.
2011.
Okay. Yeah, they've changed a lot. It's a lot going on downtown. It's just wow. I mean, they're still in the verge of building more downtown, but you can just tell it's gonna look nice. It's gonna look very nice.
Because I remember we had the Orpheum. What's the jazz bar that was downtown?
Oh wow!
It was closed. They renovated it, opened it back up.
Oh, I know what you. I cannot think of the name of it.
I went there at least 3 times.
I'm trying to think. I don't think was it Legends or I can't remember.
Is it still open?
I think. I don't think they still open. I don't think they still open. If they have, it's in a new location.
Cliffs.
I don't think Cliffs is still open. I think they're under a different name now.
Okay, well, all right, I can see that.
But it was cool. It was cool. I have so much fun down here, man. It's just a lot. They're trying to change a lot. The city is doing a lot, and I'm happy.
Are you originally born and raised in Detroit?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm born and raised from Detroit, but my parents are born and raised in Chicago.
Okay, yes.
Yep.
It's a lot of that in Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's like I'm from Detroit, but I got Chicago blood in me.
I understand. So Brenda says, good evening, FD. Ever find yourself watching a game and subconsciously mimic the signs being delivered? I have done that before, especially when I was a kid, mimicking baseball. So let's just go through sound right quick. Well, you got your computer on, but your computer's muted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got my computer all the way off. So it's just going through the phone. Maybe I just have to put it through.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll just use like the headphones because that may be better.
Okay, so
Maybe better. Okay, let me try it. Okay. Is that better?
Oh yeah, a lot better. Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll work with this.
Yeah, so we were just talking about Big John, though. Big John. We were just talking a little bit about Las Vegas Aces. You watch WNBA basketball?
I do. I'm very happy. A story. See, a couple years ago, I actually met Becky Hammond when she was assistant coach for the Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I took a picture with her. She signed my Spurs hat, so I was happy about that. But I'm happy for this Aces team. I
think it's just the beginning, personally.
I think so too. I think so too.
They got a nucleus there. The biggest question for me is, well, Candace Parker, what is she about to do?
Right.
She's gonna retire. She's gonna try to come back. She has some chronic knee injuries that might keep her from doing that. But I'm happy that she was able to get a third championship.
I am too. I am too. And it's just they have a dynasty. They have a chance to win another one, or they can win as many as they can, as long as they keep this same nucleus in this team.
I agree.
They can definitely win some championships. They can be like how the Houston Comets were when they won 4 straight titles.
Now walk people through. I don't think people know, and if they don't know, shame on them. But they about to find out today.
Oh yes.
Walk people through how you get autographs, man. You have met. I thought I went out and met some people, but you met people on boots on the ground at the stadium. Walk people through what's your method? What do you do?
My thing is, I come to games early and I give athletes respect. I don't come to them. I don't say any rude things to them. I just come to the games early. If they I go to pregame or anything like that, and then if they come towards me, they come towards me. If they don't, I don't take it personal. But that's always my thing, is just show up to games early and just be nice to players.
Man,
that's always my big thing.
Run down a list of some of the people you've met. Man.
Oh man, we might be here all day.
Man, I'm going through your page. I've seen pictures. Legends.
Yeah. Oh man. I've had pictures with Giannis, Luka, the Joker, Kay Cunningham, James Wiseman, Trae Young, Jason Tatum. Oh man, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
You know, this.
So let me ask you this though: how many Piston games do you go through, and how many Tiger games and how many Lions games do you average per season?
Oh, I try to go to every Pistons game because I have a season ticket with the Pistons and the Lions.
Okay.
So I'm at pretty much every Lions game. I try to be to every Pistons game. Tigers, I try to go to maybe at least, I say maybe 10, 15 games, try to be.
Okay.
But I love my Detroit teams. I love them. I love them to death. And
Well,
I love sports.
I tell people all the time here in LA that when I was living in Detroit and I went to Lions, Tigers, anything there, here sometimes, and this is no diss of LA sports thing, right? But sometimes you'll go to a Dodgers game. People are coming in the third inning, leaving in the seventh. That
Oh
never
wow.
happened. That never happened in any game I ever went to in Detroit.
Oh wow.
Never. I would get to a
Wow.
Tigers game, kick back. I'm talking to people, we're laughing and joking throughout the. I mean, I sat in the bleachers. I've sat at first base side, third base side. I've sat up top. We're laughing and joking, getting to know each other, talking. After the game, man, they got to put us out the stadium.
Oh wow.
We're talking. We're kicked back.
Wow.
Nobody's breaking. Oh, 7 in the stretch. Hey, I'll see y'all later. Nobody's doing that.
Nope.
Here you
No.
get to a 7 in the stretch. People really about to stretch.
They stretching and going home.
They stretching their hamstrings as they walk. Yeah.
Man, and I have to ask you, how is it like going to games in LA? Because me personally, I've never been to LA. I've never been to the West Coast before.
Okay.
So I always want to ask someone who lives in LA, lives in California, how things are there.
Oh, I mean, it's a great experience. Dodger Stadium is totally different than the Angel Stadium. Different demeanor. Dodgers, it's a louder stadium. People, to me, are more into it. And I'm not trying to diss anybody. I just want to let people know this, but it's just observation from not being from here. When you go to an Angel Stadium, it's almost like you're going to an opera or you're going to a musical event where at some points you should be quiet. Like people are. It's like a sports library almost. People are not getting rah-rah with it. Dodger Stadium, people are getting rah-rah. You go to a Rams game. I haven't been to SoFi yet, though. So I can't speak of SoFi. I've been when the Rams were at the Coliseum and when the Rams were in different other places. I went to Rams games. The atmosphere is great. I mean, it's like probably like going to NFL games in other cities that I've been to. I enjoy the LA sports scene. Whenever you go to some, I can remember the '88 Dodgers and 81 Dodgers because I was really young, and I always wondered what's it like sitting in that stadium. Now you get to go sit in that stadium and think about the legends that you've seen play in that stadium. So I mean, it's a great sports town. The thing is that people leave early. I know, or come late because of traffic, and they leave early because there's something else to do. And in Detroit, we were kicked back, man. This is our nightly outing right now. And I was there when Scherzer was pitching, Verlander was pitching, Miggy was playing. Those were kind of days. And there was a bar across the street from the baseball stadium that several hockey people, legends owned. Is that bar still open?
Yeah, it's still open.
Okay.
It's still open.
Because I was there one day for lunch. I went down for work, and we were around there for lunch. And I walk in, and I see Chris Chelios.
Yep, Chelly's Bar.
And Chris Chelios and I get into a conversation. I was telling him about when I was a kid in Chicago, and how I watched Blackhawk games when he was on the Blackhawks, and very chilled out guy. We sit there and talk for about 5 to 7 minutes. And I had to walk out with a coworker and was like, that dude right there's a legend. And she was like, really? He seems like everyday people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in St. Louis for a while too. Well, we would go to Clayton. I used to move around a lot in Newbury. Before I had children, I used to live different places. So I lived in St. Louis for a little while, and we would go to Clayton, Missouri, which is a suburb, and we would hang out with St. Louis Blues players all the time, and they were very chilled out, relaxed people. Kick it with you, laugh with you, get by your drink. All that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's amazing how you come up when you come up to a celebrity and how cool they are when you talk to them, because you always hear stories about celebrities on how they are and if they're rude or anything like that. But once you come up to them and talk to them, then you realize, oh wow, they're really a nice person.
Who is the rudest person you ever met?
Oh, wow.
I think the rudest. Oh,
I've
I
never
haven't
really
had too
had
many rudest.
I've never really had a super rude person. I've had standoffish people.
Yeah.
And
I
don't expect everybody to be the same, but you can. I mean, do who you are. I'll react to that. I'll be okay. But I've had some standoffish people.
I would probably say the rudest person I've came across was probably the rapper T.I.
Really?
Yeah. I
walk us through that. What happened? Walk us through that.
Well, I had a what's funny that people don't know that he actually does comedy as well.
He started that now. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came down here. He was in Southfield. He was at a place called Punchline, which is a black-owned comedy show in Southfield.
Just a sideline, real quick. I remember when a lot of people would hang out at the TGI Fridays in Southfield.
Oh, you took it back.
Oh yeah, that place used to be deep with folks.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Is that place?
Oh yes. They do have a TGI Fridays in Southfield. At another location. I'm not sure if that's.
You couldn't even get after 6 p.m. 5:30 on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday. You might as well not even go up in there.
Oh yeah. It stays deep there a lot.
But go ahead, go with your story.
So I was at a comedy show, and the prices of the tickets it was insane. It was like it started at $100. And I was like, oh, wow, for T.I. who just got into comedy, man.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So maybe go do some comedy and some rap.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
But it was just straight comedy. And I was like, okay, so a friend of mine who was hosting it, he got me in. He got me in for free. Thank goodness. So after the show, I came up to him. I said, T.I., can I take a picture? And he looks at me and he just straight ignores me and just turned around. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. And just kept on walking. So I was like, so I went to one of my comedian friends. He was like, yeah, he's like that. He don't like, or interacting with a lot of people and people, taking pictures or anything like that. But man, I was like, oh, wow. But it didn't hurt me. I was just surprised that it happened.
Yeah.
So one thing about me, if a celebrity, if I come up to them, if they say no or anything like that, I will respect their space. I don't just come up to them like, oh, why not? Or I've been waiting this long, or because you get fans like that, and I don't want to be like that. So,
just knowing our communication, I just don't even see. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. No.
Oh no. I'm not a rude person. I just curse at them and stuff because I don't get an autograph or anything. I don't do that at all. I'm like, oh no, I don't do that. That's not working.
Now the standoffish people, like I met Troy Aikman once.
Oh,
I think he was. I don't know if it's germs or
yeah,
what he's thinking, because you never know what people are thinking. This is before COVID, so you don't know what people are thinking. He was kind of standoffish to a lot of people. I've never really had anybody that's been rude. I think because I tried to just. I remember I was telling some people this. I went to the MLB home run derby last year when it was in LA.
Okay.
I walk up on Richard Jefferson. You know Richard Jefferson.
Yes.
This is very similar to T.I. This is very similar to your T.I. story. Richard Jefferson he had just got up and was turning around, and I was like up around they have a row of a whole area of where you can get concessions, pizza, veggie hot dogs, whatever, soda, whatever you want, water. And I just saw him, and I'm not a Richard Jefferson fan. I'm really not. And
yeah,
I was like, "Hey, Mr. Jefferson, can I take a picture with you? And he literally kind of did the same thing. Looked at me, looked away, said, "I'm with my children," and walked away. And I was just the same thing. I was just looking like, I thought to myself, this guy doesn't really even know that I'm not a fan. You know what I'm saying? He really don't even know. I came close and I said anything. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just at the home run derby trying to get some memories. I'm like,
right.
Oh, okay, bro. All right.
Like, yeah. And it's just you're like, okay, I can respect your space, but long as you're not rude about it, it's cool. But even if you're rude about it, I'll just be like, okay, I'll just let you have your space. It's okay. I'll just let you be you. So it's okay. Now let me ask you, was there somebody that you've met that you were surprised they were as nice as you thought they were?
Great question. Great question. Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
Really?
Barry Bonds.
Wow.
Bruh, Barry Bonds. I go to an event. This is a little bit before Junior's born. I go to an event. Junior's born in December. I go to an event in San Francisco, GTSM Sports Autograph Shows. You may have heard of if you're into autographs. He does an appearance in September of 2015 in the Bay Area, right at a hotel right across the street from Levi Stadium. And this was before Levi Stadium was open officially. Levi Stadium was going to open for the bowl season coming up in like 3 months or so, 4 months or so, around the holidays. But it wasn't open yet, but it was finished.
Okay.
Advertising the games coming up. So I'm standing outside of Levi like, man, this place is going to be phenomenal. I still haven't seen a game there. I'm like, I'd love to see a game here. So I see Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds signs autographs, takes his time, talks to people, man, for hours.
Oh, wow.
He started at, I don't know what time it was. It was like 11:30 noon, something like that. I was there. I was one of the last people to get my autograph signed. I was there at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Barry Bonds was still signing autographs.
Oh,
and
wow.
When you got up there, he would talk to you about anything you want to talk about. He would take his time slowly writing his autograph out. He got up several times and stretched. He got up for water breaks, used the restroom, came back, sat down, handled his business. Only thing is you couldn't take a picture of him when you got up there. They didn't want that. Other than that, Barry, when you came up, New Breed, he had dedicated time for you. Spent time with you. Asked you about your family, whatever you want to talk about, man. You could talk about him being a player. We got to talking about a few other players because I had him sign something that I thought was pretty special. We got to talking about Jackie Robinson, Willie Stargell, Willie Mays, just a bunch of different stuff. He has some game issue bats over here that you can have signed. He was asking about that. He was, and I even told him, man, you hear a lot about people. And he said, man, don't listen to that. Most of those people are probably a-holes, and I don't want to be around them. So that's what he told me, to not be around them. So don't listen to that. He was very nice.
Wow.
That's probably the only person that I've really met where I came in with a preconceived notion. I didn't allow that to bias me. And immediately when I walked up, I could tell he was very different. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? You from Chicago? Yeah, I've been playing the Cubs. Just having a conversation.
Wow.
Let's jump into this thing.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get to it.
You got a Pistons hat on.
I do.
I heard some news today that they're not going to offer Wiseman a renewal contract. I think we kind of all knew this. They're going to, I guess, kind of reevaluate in the summer and see what they're going to do. What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised by this because I kind of knew that this was going to happen in the organization. I think this is basically they're trying to prove to see if he how well he does this season.
That's
I
that's
think
exactly what I read into that.
yeah, and I just think that they're gonna try to see how he plays this season, and then they're gonna be like, okay, is his game getting better, or how well he plays if he can stay healthy? Because and people don't understand this guy hasn't played a full season,
He
so
played 84 games.
he's yeah exactly.
Mhm.
And people and like all he needs is a chance. He needs to play, and he has to come across the right coaches who is willing to teach him. And I would think a guy like a Monty Williams would be a good coach, seeing that what he did in Phoenix and how he helped Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton and everyone. So
Yeah.
you would think that he could do that, and he could be that's the right coach to do that. But I think all he needs is a chance. Now I'm not surprised that they are doing that, but all he needs is just a chance. I mean, if it didn't work in Golden State, which I still think Golden State is regretting giving him up. I believe that
I agree.
because of all the stuff that's going on there, and then their injuries, and the Draymond situation, because now he's hurt, so he's not going to play. So, and they're missing a center. So I just think it's a make it or break it year for him. And I think if he comes across the right right coaches who are willing to learn, and he works on his game and he gets stronger, and he works on his shot and gets more physical, I think I think he could get re-signed. I think it's just pretty much going to be they're trying to pick between him and Marvin Bagley. So
when you see Wise play, does he seem like he's overthinking stuff?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. I think he's overthinking. And then I think sometimes you can see that he tries to do too much at times. Like he'll take a three when he shouldn't take a three. He should just go to the basket and be strong, or just get alley-oops. So I think he needs to just concentrate. I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with evolving your game.
Yeah.
But I just think that he should just concentrate on what he's good at. And
I totally agree.
I think that'll be good for him. But yeah, I actually do think he does overthink it too much.
Overthinks a lot. I always tell people, I can remember when I first got to college, I'm playing ball, and I overthought a lot of stuff. That's why I think I can look at certain players, and it's not just him. I see other players. It's too much mental.
Yes.
To me, like take a guy like Anthony Edwards. He's not overthinking anything.
Yeah.
He's about to
go.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. And I think sometimes I think players overthink, especially when they're coming off of an injury. They overthink that. They think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because they don't take the type of jumps or the type of screens or the movements that they're used to, because they're automatically thinking, oh wow, this is how I got hurt. I'm gonna do this differently. So it's not only just physically, but it's a mental game with that too. And I think that bothers him. And I think that's what Wiseman is going through also. He had those injuries, and it's in the back of his mind. And I think that can be that can mess up his game as well.
What's your prediction for that young man?
I think honestly, I really think the ceiling is still high for him. I mean, he's still young. He still has room to grow his game. And I think just like we were talking about, he's only played a handful of really games. So he still has a lot to learn from. He's still young. He just has to stay healthy. And then also too, he has to be around great veterans too. I think that's the key. I think that's the key. Because even with this Piston team, you don't have a lot of veterans on this team that can teach them that. It's a lot of young players. I think the veterans on there, I think, is Bogdanovich and Alec Burks.
That's it.
So it's just all these other guys are young guys.
And Bogdanovich is injured right now, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. He is injured, and it's just when you're around, and then I think also too having an assistant coach like a Mark Bryant, who was a big man back then in the NBA, I think that's going to help his game out as well. I think so.
You
But
got
I
to think,
think this.
Wise is 22 years old. If he was coming out, he'd either be a senior back in the day. Let me speak to this. He'd be a senior, a sophomore, or a first or a second year player. If we're going
Absolutely.
by like late 90s, early 2000s.
Mhm.
We're both seeing the same thing when we look at it. A guy who's
Yeah.
kind of overthinking at times, hesitating. You can tell he wants to do something. He's kind of hesitating. But then you see
Mhm.
glimpses where he doesn't overthink and he doesn't hesitate.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's bananas.
And what a lot of people don't seem to forget too, it took a while for Joel Embiid to play because he played through a lot of injuries when he
Well, his
was
first
younger.
2 years he didn't play at all.
Right. Right. And it took him a while to become the MVP type of player he is today. Because it was people that would talk about he should have retired after those injuries.
Yeah.
You know, that and it's just sometimes that happens. I mean, Jamal Murray, the same thing. People would talk about he was almost done. And now all of a sudden he's a champion. So I think it's just all about just staying focused and just staying positive and just having the right coaching. And I think he could be fine. I think he could be fine. He did. I just think he can't he can't overthink, and he just has to not let the outside noise distract him. He can't deal with any distractions.
Very true.
But I think he'll be fine though. It's just he has to just be in the right situation.
Very true. Going back to WNBA, Big John says, I'm a big Jonquel Jones fan. She was a really good people. So sad to see her lose, but the Aces had Aja and CP3. We got Beverly Riggins in the house. Beverly's a supporter. What's up, Beverly?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good to have you. Brendan up in here. Machado Sports, I love women's sports. I'm a big advocate and supporter too. I don't know why anybody would not be, but that's me. Aja Wilson, best player in the W. They snubbed her for another MVP. So when she didn't win MVP, she did the right thing. She won the campaign saying, "Oh, it doesn't bother me," but we all knew she was on that get back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't.
And she needed that motivation to win another title. I think her not winning that MVP kind of helped her and this team. Because you know the Liberty was giving them problems in the regular season. They thought, oh, okay, well, it's gonna be the Liberty gonna take them just because of the regular season. But sometimes that regular season is not the same in the playoffs.
Who's the post player? Who's the big on the Liberty team? The young lady.
I think
what's her name?
Is it Brianna Stewart? Was it Brianna Stewart or Jonquel Jones? I think it's Jonquel Jones.
Jonquel Jones. I expect more out of her. I expect more out of her.
Yeah.
I expected for her. She seemed almost fatigued at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Running with her head down and
yeah. And you would expect more from her, especially, you know, the team that she came from in the past, from the Connecticut Sun. She would just bring that to New York.
They were right there. They were almost right there against the Aces. So
yeah.
We're gonna see some fire there. Machado says WNBA needs better marketing though. They schedule games in this parade on Monday Night Football and football Sundays. All I can say is this: some things may be scheduled when it can happen. We're talking about in Vegas, and I'm pretty sure Monday night is a down night. So I mean, that is true, but
yeah. And I think, and I am with the better marketing, and they have to do that within the WNBA. Like it's just, and they can't rely on the NBA to help them out. That's another thing. I think some WNBA players are so into, well, the NBA and the NBA players should help us out in funding and things like that, but maybe they don't want to do that. It's just they, but they have to do more marketing, and they have to have more televised games. I believe. I believe that, and I believe they have to have their own network too.
I agree.
They do.
You're talking, Newbury. I totally agree. We got Brendan here saying, "Are you saying that being aware can be a distraction?" No, I think I'm saying, and I'm gonna let Newbury jump in on this, is that sometimes you can, if you are in a play and you mess up that play, or you do very well in that play, and if you're still thinking about that play, a play or two plays later, that's a problem.
Yes, that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem because being as somebody that has played basketball, that can it can get to you when a play you mess up, or a bad screen, or just a bad shot. It can get to you. Like we have a player on our team with the Pistons who goes through that, and that's Killian Hayes.
Oh yeah,
Killian Hayes goes through that. Like he'll miss a shot, and then he'll have his head down the whole time as he's next time, and then it messes with him mentally because he's so afraid to shoot next time. It's like, you're wide open, you got to shoot, but oh yeah, it'll definitely get to you mentally. Oh, no question.
I think these are the kind of things that who's the forward for the Brooklyn Nets? LSU.
Ben Simmons.
I think it's what plagues him.
I think so. That's a prime example.
Very similar issue. Overthinking stuff. We've seen some baseball players, some shortstops, and stuff they can't throw the first. They're overthinking that thing. They're thinking if I throw this ball, it's about to be in the stands. So let me not throw this ball.
Yeah, absolutely, and it can happen to anybody. You can anybody can have a bad game. So it happens to the best of them.
Yeah, we're gonna see how some of these players. We're gonna see how Wise and some of these other guys do. It's about getting playing time. It's about capitalizing on the playing time and getting your mind right and really saying the hell with everything else. Even when I play ball, sometimes the more I didn't care, I played better. Now I'm not saying I don't. Care. I'm not saying you call a play, New Breed. You call a trap, and I'm running a pass block. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I'm going to unleash. I'm going to move and unleash on something.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily for a particular position.
Absolutely.
That's right. And that's when I played better. When I first started, I would pull and start looking for a corner here. Or maybe there's a blitz now. Maybe somebody else involved. Maybe the Mike linebacker's in the hole. Just blow it up.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't worry about who is that 31. I'm looking for 31. No. Just blow it up.
Right. And I'm the type of person to where I love competition. The better competition, the more I'm focused and the more I'm like, I'm at this person and I'm doing a little trash talking because I've been known to trash talk, but I love the competition of sports. I just love it.
So do I.
And
I love a little chatter too. I love when somebody starts talking to me and saying,
"Oh yes,
what I can't do and what they're gonna shut down."
Yeah, I'd be like, "Oh, you can't play," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll show you." But then you hit about 3-4 straight buckets. Then they like, you know what? I was just playing. It's okay. I was just playing. I was just testing.
I'm like, apology. Like, man, I ain't mean nothing about it, man. Just trying to find out who I'm working with here. So I got some questions for you. I was on live yesterday. Machado here had some questions, and he wanted me to ask. Hold on here. Make sure I get his question here.
Absolutely.
I know it concerned different predictions on different awards in the upcoming NBA season.
Yes. Yes.
Who do you think is going to be MVP of the NBA this year? Because let me give you some background. This is why he's spinning, because
Yeah.
we're in a transitional period in the NBA where you have legends, Steph, LeBron, KD, not too many more years left in their careers.
Yeah.
And we have a
Yeah.
plethora of young guys, Zion, Ja, and many other players, Luca, still got some Kyrie time out there. What are they going to do in their career? Are they going to win championships? Are they going to win awards? Or is there even another sector of LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, you really younger guys coming up? What are they going to do? So it's time to start filtering out when we use the word GOAT. Who's really about to start going to that level, and who's just mainstream basketball player?
I'm gonna tell you a guy who I think is gonna be in that MVP talk, and he had a great year last year, and a lot of people talk about him. Is SGA?
Oh yeah,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Now we talk.
I like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Now we're talking. That's my prediction for MVP this year.
I'm gonna say it's either going to be between him and I probably my heart is saying Jokic, but it's just
because New Breed, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think Denver's winning another championship.
I think they're going to be better than what people think, though.
Oh no, I'm not saying this is a 30-win team, or nothing like that. But I'm just saying when we talk about who's going to get that crown, fight for it and go through it, and how injuries going to play a toll, and everything we know about basketball.
Yeah,
when that final team is standing, it won't be the Denver Nuggets.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. It's a lot of competition in that Western Conference. It is a lot, and they hungry. You know, teams like, Phoenix and Golden State, the Lakers and OKC, and just a lot of these. Even
Dallas is going to be in the mix. Dallas will be in the mix. They'll be around something.
But
the Pelicans will be around something.
But the thing around Dallas, I don't trust a team with Kyrie on it.
Well, I don't trust a team with Kyrie or a team that has 2 point guards and they both don't play defense.
Exactly. I agree.
But I believe the NBA has a lot of stuff that looks good on paper. It's gonna get people chit chatting about it. Gonna produce some ESPN highlights. So we gotta have that. We gotta sprinkle.
Oh yeah.
You get the ESPN highlights. We gotta sprinkle that out. But it ain't doing much more.
But you know what, FD? All they show, it seemed like on Sports Center, is Warriors, Lakers, Clippers. and I like LA teams, but I noticed they show a lot of that on Sports Center. They show a lot of that on NBA TV and NBA Today. They speak, the first day they speak of is the Lakers.
That's right.
How's LeBron gonna do?
Even
this is 21st season.
Like this year, I think they're gonna be like a 41-41 team. But they're still gonna get talked about.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. I don't like the way, because I don't know. I don't know if you've seen the top 100 player list.
Oh yeah,
this year.
Yeah.
It's some players I thought that were way too high, and one of those players I thought was Anthony Davis. I thought he was way too high.
Well, he's too high on any list to me.
Right.
And I don't think he ever should have been on the top 75 list. But I thought it was interesting that Luka was at 4 and Steph was at 5.
Yeah. And it's funny because you got players on that list who haven't even played an NBA game. Like Wemby and Scoot.
Well, you heard Kenyon Martin, right?
I did.
Kenyon Martin said,
What the
hell's going on, people?
Right.
We got people on this list that's better than Russ, and they ain't never played a game. We got Wemby on this list.
Yeah. That's just how the league is, man. That's how these, so-called writers think. It's just like you judge the players. I mean, they have a body of work. Now, to me, with the Westbrook thing, I'm just like he should be higher. He's still one of the best players in the league. I mean, how many players you know that are average a triple double in 3 straight seasons?
Well, you know,
That's insane.
The problem is that he doesn't play defense, and he will turn the ball over.
Yeah.
So he's a point guard that's leading the league in turnovers and also throwing assists. Now, when he was in Oklahoma City, he was in a market that was small. People talked about the triple double thing, but there was many times he wasn't playing defense to get that triple double.
Absolutely.
So, but
I agree.
When you get to a big market, you start playing with Sunshine LeBron because he's gonna bring some sunshine to you.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't still do that stuff any longer. And Kevin Love found that out. You can be with the Minnesota Timberwolves and score points, come to the Lakers or come to Cleveland, and you got problems.
It's a different ball game. And that's
what's your prediction on Rookie of the Year? You got Wemby, you got Scoop. Who you got?
My heart wants to go with Asar Thompson because I'm a Piston fan, but the wise choice, I think it's gonna be Wemby. I really think it. But the thing with Wemby, guys his size, they always have leg and foot injuries. So I'm a little worried about injury-wise with him.
But what I noticed was that you watched him play Golden State the other night.
I did.
Had 5 blocks. But in that first quarter, he looked like he was about to pass out from fatigue. What is that?
I think it's conditioning. I mean, he has to get used to being in the NBA. And then when you're playing 82 games and you're the number 1 pick in the draft, they gonna come at you. They gonna come at you, especially when you're the best NBA prospect since LeBron. So I know some people gonna say it's Zion, but that's still
Well,
yeah.
Zion playing like 2-3 sports, man.
Oh yeah.
You know,
he
ain't just playing in the NBA. He's playing all kinds of.
Well, I didn't say that. You said it.
Yeah, he MVP somewhere.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
But I just think, but I do think it's probably gonna be either between him and Scoot Henderson. I think it's gonna be between them two.
I love me some Scoot. I tell people all the time. I think I looked up. I forgot the date. Anthony Edwards when Minnesota plays Portland. I can't wait for Scoot and Anthony Edwards to go at. Now, don't send them off playing defense on somebody else. We want to see this thing straight up and straight down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna have the pleasure to see Scoot live on November 1st when they come down to Detroit. So I'm gonna
at some point, Newbury, I gotta get to Detroit and watch a game with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, no problem. Hey, just say the word. I got you, man. No problem.
Angie here has a compliment for you, I think. She said that it seems like your friend can play linebacker in the NFL.
You know what's funny? I get that a lot. Okay. I get that. Either I can play linebacker or running back or corner. Because
let's give Angie some stats now. How tall are you, man?
I'm 6 feet.
Okay, so that's linebacker height.
Yeah, so I'm like 6 feet, about 230, 240.
Okay, that's linebacker height.
Yeah.
Angie saw all that. Let me hold on now. Angie saw all that.
Yeah. I tried to play football too, man. I wanted to try to play corner because I just love the cornerback position. I was a big, like growing up, I was a very big fan of Deion Sanders.
Oh yeah, man.
I was a huge fan of Deion Sanders.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to play 2-3 sports like him, man. I was just like, oh man, that was like my favorite player growing up was Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders. Just man, I always wanted to do that.
I think Angie is an NFL or professional scout right now, man.
She might be. She might be. If she a scout, I need to play somewhere. Be my agent somewhere.
Yeah. So back to the NBA predictions. Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals. You know, I got Golden State doing some. Well, let's talk about this. We're gonna caveat.
Yeah.
Machado's question. What do you think of Jordan Poole leaving and CP3 coming in?
I don't think that was a good move to give up on a young player like Jordan Poole. And I understand the incident between him and Draymond. I get it. But you can't give up on a player like that, especially as Steph and Clay is getting older. You have to have someone else coming off the bench. Or, because Clay is not really fully healed to me.
Right.
I think he's still going through injury because the knees is something. I know all about them knee injuries. So it takes time. But I don't think they should have gave up on Poole like that. I think, give another year, see how the team is. But
so now let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
What about the immaturity? What about the pouting on the bench?
Yeah.
What about probably the unknown because they're a professional organization like the Patriots and they won't tell us what was said in the locker room? What provoked Draymond? Not saying Draymond was right for striking a human being, but what provoked Draymond to take 4 fingers and a thumb and make a fist?
I think it was just frustration with the young guy. I guess he was saying something that he didn't like. Or he was poking a bear.
Yeah, that was some talk. That was something said.
Yeah, he was poking a bear, and he just couldn't take it.
He told me he was number 30's overpriced backpack.
Oh wow, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't know if that's right, but that's what I heard.
I heard that.
You ever been in a situation like at a work function or some team building where one person you whisper something in one person's ear, and by the 15th person, it's something totally different.
Yeah.
The 15th person, the 15th told me.
Yeah.
That it was like, overpriced. 30,
yeah.
Like
that's
riding.
Yeah, that 15th person told me, but then this 10th person told me something different, and then the 5th, it's just y'all trying to confuse me, man. I don't understand it.
That's right. Draymond, whatever the 15th person told Draymond wasn't going to hear what the 16th person said.
Oh yeah. And then Draymond going through a lot of mental things, and he had to go see some psychiatrists and stuff too. So I remember seeing
came out today. I saw that they said that Golden State wanted him and Poole to go to dinner together and kind of talk to their differences, and Draymond refused.
Yeah. I mean, he's Draymond gonna be Draymond, so he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. But I still think they should have kept Poole. But with them not having Poole, that just means it's gonna be they expect more out of Kuminga and Moses Moody.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And these are young guys who they should have had playing anyway, especially in that playoff. Because I feel like what messed them up in the playoffs is that they tried to run that small lineup and it kind of just messed them up against the Lakers. I thought they should have left Kevon Looney in the center position because they seem to play well with him at that center position. So I think that messed them up. Now, with them having CP3, it's going to be interesting how their start lineup is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing their lineup is going to be CP3, Steph, Clay, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond.
Well, now remember, that was the starting lineup with Jordan Poole for particular games.
Yeah.
And then other games, they were asking Poole to come off the bench, lead that second unit.
Right.
I think it's going to be the same. I think everything that they asked Jordan Poole to do last year, and he did not get done, is what they're going to ask CP3 to do, and they're going to ask him to sprinkle that seasoned veteran on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
None of this immaturity on the bench. None of this immaturity in the locker room. None of this chatter about different stuff and pouting. None of that. Be a professional. Come out here, do what we're asking you to do. And you can tell CP3 took it kind of seriously because physically he looks different than when they ended the season last year in Phoenix.
Absolutely.
Like he shed some weight. Looked like he's probably worked on some things. He looks pretty toned. So
yeah, it's just all about him staying healthy.
That's right.
That's the big thing, and that's what cost him. When he was with Phoenix, they seem to have whenever they do well, then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and that messes up their whole team.
Now let's talk about the big 5-5 since you mentioned Phoenix. I call them the big 5-5. No, I call them the big 5-5 because the big three there won't play more than 55 games each. So what do you think Phoenix is going to do? And I give it 35 games, 40 games before Beal or Booker is hurt.
Oh, I give it lesser than that. Even if it's not even hurt, it's probably going to be some kind of illness. Because Beal had an illness, I think the last 2 years he had COVID, and then he had a couple other illnesses too. But I think I don't think they're going to have that team for the whole year. I think you're lucky to get 60 games from them because unfortunately we have a NBA to where the stars are not going to be. You're not going to have too many players that's going to play a whole 82 game season.
That's right.
It's just not gonna. It's just not going to work like that. You're lucky to even have them play 70. And then I hate to be the fan that's paying for the games, and then next thing you know, none of these players are playing. And that happens.
That's why they're trying to attach awards to how many games have you played throughout the season to try to coerce these guys to actually want to play.
Yeah. And I'm not. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of that. Just to throw that in to just get people to.
Well,
play.
This is all a circle, man. You got to play. You got to want to be out there, and then we need some TV coverage. We got to get some we got to get your jersey sales right. We can't have you. You can kick back and chill.
Yeah.
With this revenue stream that we're trying to.
Absolutely.
That's what the owners are looking at. They're looking at how much to generate these coins.
Right. Absolutely. And they're going to be all about money and sponsorships and everything like that. And understandably, I mean, that's what you have to as an owner. You want to produce money. You want to get the fans, spending their money and having a good time. And that's understandable. But you got to have fans, enjoy the game. You don't want to take the excitement out of fans, so, and, you want a fan to, have their money well spent as well. So,
do you think Milwaukee is the best and a better place or in the worst place by taking Drew Holiday and shipping him someplace else and bringing in Dillard?
I think the ship is pretty much sailed probably with Drew Holiday because I guess they feel like they got as much as they can with him. Now it's going to be interesting to see how Lillard is with this team because he has injury issues too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see not only just how he plays with this team, but Giannis, and then also I think Chris Middleton is going to take a step back from his game. I think because the offense is going to be pretty much Lillard and Giannis. I think Middleton is going to take a back seat to that, and I think he's going to be the one that's not going to be happy.
Well, I think about it like this. To me, as soon as they got Holiday out of there, there's more pressure on Giannis because injuries, right? We talk about this. As soon as Middleton is hurt, more pressure is on Damian Lillard. And I have never seen Damian Lillard play consistent defense.
No, not at all. Not at all. And the thing is, and Milwaukee is getting older. So their team is getting older. So it's like they're not. I think they're gonna contend for a championship. I just think it's pretty much, in my opinion, I think it's pretty much gonna be them in Boston. That's gonna be maybe Miami to a degree.
You know, we've been talking about Boston for the last several seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum gets to the playoffs, shoots 30-some%. Do you think they're legit?
I think they can be legit depending on which Porzingis you get.
Oh.
Because
No, you can't depend on that guy now.
Yeah, but it's just see, there's another guy that has injury issues too with Porzingis, and they have to
And you got
rely
rid of
on him.
Williams third. You sent Williams third all the time.
Yeah, and I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that.
There must be something wrong with his knee.
It has to be. It has to be. I think with all the move, and I think when he's been in the games, he's been a difference for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think like I was saying before, them knee injuries is no joke. They take a while to heal. So I think and I think you're right. I think it's a lot more to that knee injury than what we think. And I think him going to Portland is going to help. I believe. I think that Portland team is going to be well with him at Portland and when he plays, because he's going to back up Ayton. So I think that's going to help him. But Boston, I think losing, giving up Marcus Smart is going. I really think that's going to
think it's a negative
mess them up.
Okay.
I think that and also too, what a lot of people are not thinking about too. I think the loss of Malcolm Brogdon is going to hurt them too. I really do.
I can see that
because they don't, they have to. They don't have really too much of a bench really. I mean, they have the starters, but they don't have too much of a bench, and I think that's going to hurt them. I really do, because you don't want Brown, and then with Jaylen Brown, he has a big contract, so he's going to be going through a lot of that's a lot of pressure with him. Now he has to play well, and there's no excuses for him.
You think he's going to learn to dribble with his left?
Yeah, I hope he has. I hope he has. He's going to have to with that contract.
We'll find out.
Oh yeah, and I think and with him in his contract, I think Tatum is going to want more. Also,
he is.
He's going to demand money.
They gonna say, Tatum, are you still shooting 30% in the playoffs?
Well,
Are you driving amongst a crowd and losing the ball? You have turnovers?
And you can't do that, especially against a defensive team like Miami, who will play defense, and they will they'll make sure, and you have to have a ball handler, and they needed somebody like Drew Holiday. They needed somebody like that, a true point guard, because they haven't had a true point guard in years.
I would love to.
They haven't had one.
I'd love to see Jimmy Butler win championship.
I would love to see him too, just long as he don't wear that hair. Long as he don't wear that hair.
You know all of that is. Don't forget about me. I'm sitting over here. We're about to come out. If you look at me long enough, you're gonna listen to me say something. That's
Absolutely.
what Butler is all about. He's like, you are not gonna forget me, people. So.
Yeah, one thing about Jimmy Butler is never a dull moment when it comes to Jimmy Butler.
Dude being interviewed by people, you like, is he? Do they date each other? There's a lot of in between the lines stuff going on right now. Like, what's going on, man? Like, what?
You sometimes wonder. You be like, I want to question, but I don't know if I want to question too much.
Yeah, he don't
like,
answer a question in a certain way. She starts cracking up. It's like, okay. What is that? We got Bruno.
That is crazy.
Says, who's your favorite to win the title non-Warriors? Who you got win the title if it ain't Golden State Warriors?
Oh, man.
That was like Denzel. He ain't getting up out of here with just 4. He gonna get something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say
we're gonna come off 4. But who you got besides the Warriors?
Probably And that's now is that considered? Now, are we going by the Western Conference or just the Eastern Conference or just
in general?
In general?
Who you got?
Man, I would say probably either Milwaukee or I might have to say Denver. Might have to say Denver again.
Strong pick.
Yeah.
Strong
Yeah.
pick.
But I'm definitely not picking the Lakers. No.
No. Can't pick that. I gotta think about this one. I say Denver's not gonna win. I think they're gonna be around. You can't disrespect them like that. They're gonna be around. I really want to see who is OKC. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna win a championship, but to me, I gotta see this year, are they championship level in a few years? We gotta know who's Chet. We gotta know what the front office is gonna do. You got 7 high-level draft picks coming up. What are you gonna do with those? Is it time for Shea to bounce? We'll see.
I like that team.
I'm trying to think outside of the box on teams who have shown themselves and who are taking steps. I actually want to see who Atlanta is. I don't think they're going to ever win a championship down there, but I got to see who Murray and Trae Young are, probably someplace else. And I think this year will probably tell us that. I'm trying to think about Eastern Conference. Can Miami do what they did before and get back? I don't think so. Some people do. Chicago Bulls, are they ready to break that up? Or they're going to make a run at it?
Man, as much as I like Levine and DeRozan, I
don't see it.
I don't see it either. I don't see it either. And then, and I hate to see Lonzo Ball get injured and just don't have a chance to play, man. I really want to see him play.
To be a great spot up shooter outside.
I would have liked to see him play because it's just you hate to see a guy like him just get hurt like that. And I would like to see what Memphis do, even without Ja Morant. And then unfortunately, Steven Adams is gone for the year because of his knee injury.
Yeah,
that's gonna hurt them.
So this is the same knee that had him out last year, right?
Oh, was that?
This is the same knee that had him out last year, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. And it just flared up on him, and he just injured it again. So unfortunately, prayers go out to Steven Adams, man. It's just I hate
like
to see
that could be the end of something. We don't know.
It's possible. It's possible, but I still would like to see how they team is even without Ja Morant. They got Derrick Rose, Desmond Bain. Let's see the kind of season Triple J has.
Desmond Bain.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And then with them having Marcus Smart, and then they have the pieces they have with Aldama and David Roddy and Xavier Tillman, who I'm a big Xavier Tillman fan. I like Tillman's game. So it'll be interesting to see, what Memphis do. And then, the Clippers, or as I call them, the low management team.
I don't see them doing much. I don't see it.
And another team I want to see how they do this year. I know a lot of people say they had a fluke year last year. I really want to see what the Sacramento Kings do. I really want to see how they do.
They only brought in JaVale McGee. Like, how did they get better?
That's just experience.
I didn't know. Oh, well, man. They need more than that.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that Golden State series is going to help them out. I think that's going to help them out because now they got the experience because they were inexperienced going into that series. And I think with the experience going into the playoffs, now they know what to expect. So nothing is going to surprise them.
But let me ask you this: who's their third?
The third scorer?
Yeah.
Night
in, night out.
I would probably it's either probably going to be Keegan. It's either Keegan Murray or it's going to be Malik Monk.
And see, this is the problem.
Yeah, maybe Kevin Huerter, but I don't think Kevin Huerter is a consistent scorer like that.
He consistent headband wearer, but he doesn't.
Yeah, right.
doesn't do more than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's the problem. Is that the problem? They don't have a consistent third scorer. And then Sabonis, I thought, was limited in the post in the playoffs last year. I expected more out of. I mean, we didn't know who his father was. So I guess I shouldn't compare him to his pops, but I expected more from him in the post. So if he's averaging, like, he needs to average 27 a game to get them over the hump with Fox out there. And then the other guys can, now everybody the third scorer can fit into that zone because it can be different people at that point.
Absolutely.
But with the way he's playing,
yeah, absolutely.
That third person has to be consistent.
It has to. For them to get past that first round, they have to have a consistent, like, just in case Fox and Sabonis have bad games, you have to have somebody step up, and you have to have somebody step up on that bench too. You have to.
So that might be a team who's trying to make some moves at some point.
I believe so.
Get some more talent in there. And they must be thinking that way because I expected more from them in the offseason. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: who do you think is and as far as you can say the Western and the Eastern Conference, like, who do you think is going to be your most disappointing teams?
I still think the Hornets are going to be trash.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I don't think, so there's a question here about who makes the playoffs first, the Hornets or the Pistons. I would be leaning towards the Pistons right now.
I agree.
Getting a play-in spot, trying to sink their way up in there. I also think the Houston Rockets are trash and will remain trash. But your question was, say your question again.
It's like, what do you think is going to be? Who's going to be your most disappointing teams? Like, teams that people think are going to the playoffs or maybe a play-in, but you don't think they're going to go to the playoffs at all.
Clippers, Atlanta Hawks.
Oh.
Those two teams jump out to me. I'm trying to think about someone else. Lakers are not going to do what people think they're doing.
Don't tell ESPN that.
Austin Reeves is not him. I don't say it. I just don't say it.
Yeah.
He's going to end up being a liability on the defense of him. Some teams. Lithuania show. You get that boy in the post, start bagging him down. Opens up a lot of other stuff.
It's going
again. There's going to be other people that's going to show that same thing again. So they're going to make him work on both ends, and then we'll see.
It's going to be barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. As Shaq would say, barbecue chicken.
Oh, wet. Yeah. Right?
Barbecue chicken. Like, I know for me, as far as the East, I feel like the most disappointing teams, I feel like it's going to be, well, number one in the East, I'm going to say the Chicago Bulls.
I can see that.
And another team, I would probably say it could be the Toronto Raptors.
Let me ask you a question. I can see Toronto. Why is the Indiana Pacers? It's like Homer Simpson back and back into those bushes.
Yeah.
Remember last year? This just came to me right now. Remember last year? Everybody was talking about Indiana. Matherman, man. People talking about Indiana. What's up?
You know what? And I like Indiana, and that's that's actually one of my surprise teams. But people forget last year they were one of the best teams in the league. It's just they had a lot of injuries. So once those injuries happened, that was the decline of their season. So I think with Halliburton and Mathurin, and I think with them getting Obi Toppin and Bruce Brown, I think that's going to help them out because they got a mixture of veterans and younger players.
So in the West, let me give you another Homer Simpson backing into the bush.
Okay.
Utah Jazz. They were number 1 seed in the West last year at the beginning.
They were.
Yeah.
They were. I think the same thing with them, injuries too. And I think and also if Lauri Markkanen is going to have the type of season he had last year.
Right.
With him, and they got Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton if he can stay healthy. But they got some pieces, man. I just think it's just all about them staying healthy. That's the big thing. And having last year as a learning experience. They have to.
Big John,
I believe.
Comment here. Do you see the reports that Patrick Williams wants a $200 million contract?
No,
I have not. I had not. I had not seen that.
No, and
like, what's up with Patrick Williams?
I like Patrick Williams. I've met Patrick Williams. He's a nice guy, very nice guy. But $200 million? No, I don't see that. I don't see giving somebody that much money who hasn't played much and gets injured a lot. I just can't see it.
Now, what is his real position? He said, hold on. How tall is he? 6'8".
Easy 6'8".
6'8". What is his real position?
I guess you could
power forward.
I think they list him as a power forward, but I think he's better as a small forward. I think he plays bigger than his position, but I think they list him as a power forward.
Yeah,
because
I don't see that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I believe they have him starting at power forward with because I think they have was it Vucevic, Williams, Levine, DeRozan, and I believe at point guard they're gonna have Kobe White start.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Yeah, he's been balling.
Yeah,
he has been balling.
Shooting that three. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you play 71 games, then you play 9 games, then you play 65. You're averaging 9.7 points for your career. You like, I want to get paid.
Yeah.
4
and as
rebounds.
a high
4 rebounds.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Okay.
Can't have 4
rebounds.
rebounds.
You sit on Santa Claus' lap. And you say, you know what, I want G.I. Joe with a Kung Fu grip. But your parents over there is like, nah, we're gonna get you something else.
Yeah.
Your grades
Yeah.
not that great. Your behavior sometimes at home when I ask you to do something is not that good. I ask you to give me a glass of water, you're huffing and puffing.
Mm-hmm.
There will be no Kung Fu grip for you this year. So
no.
Patrick Ewing is on Santa Claus' lap right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hey, a lot of them just gonna get that coal instead of that Christmas gift.
That's right. And that's why it's set up like that. You've been naughty and nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandmother used to say,
gotta...
is it sugar and spice or something else?
It ain't gonna be nothing nice. It ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Bruno says Kings have the same playoff problems, but should rack up some wins again. They ain't gonna rack up some wins. I'm talking about getting over that hump.
Yeah, and like we were saying, that Western Conference is loaded, man. So you're gonna be fighting for positions. You know,
now, New Breed, tell me about your podcast.
Yes. So I have I have one with we have a group. It's called the D313XP. Yeah. So it's myself, it's Duro, DC1, and Nomus J.
Yeah.
That's my calls. That's one of the calls right there. What's up, Duro?
That's right.
And we talk about just sports. We talk about more so we talk about Detroit sports, but then we'll pretty much talk about anything else, man. We've had guys on our show, man. We've had Lionel Vitale, who's he was a former Super Bowl champion. He did front office work. Now he's a motivational speaker. Sergio Rodriguez, who used to be in I believe you know Sergio FD.
Yes.
Sergio Rodriguez. Barry had him on. The former world champion Chris Bird. We've had a lot of people on, and we talk about sports. We get real knee deep into all of our teams and just all about sports in general, man. Just the D313XP. We talk about that.
That name. How did you come up with the name D313XP?
Well, I didn't come up with the name. My partner Nomis came up with it, so he knows more about that than I do. And it's funny because it was him, and then it was Duro, and then they just brought me on. So because I was a fan of their show, and they just came up and they just told me, they say, "Hey, we want you to be part of it." And it surprised me because I didn't expect that. So they just brought me on like family. And one thing about the podcast, man, anybody that comes on, we treat them like family, and that's our big thing because we treat each other like family, and we want our guests to get treated like family. It's like it's like a friend. It's like a family reunion, pretty much. That's the way we have things. So
yeah, I watched a few episodes. It's real cool, man. The way y'all break down, the way you're sitting there, and the way you break down stuff. You can just tell the way you all are talking that you respect each other.
Absolutely,
that's the first thing.
Absolutely. It's like, man, it's like we talk like we brothers, man, and we just enjoy speaking on everything that we talk about, from sports to real life to everything. Even when something goes down with us or something happens with us, we always come together. We always check on each other. So that just proves how much respect we have with each other.
Now, New Breed, Daryl, I gotta ask now. Please let me know. Let me come on there and roll with you one day.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You always welcome to come on. Matter of fact, hey man, we can have you on next Wednesday if you're free.
You just let me know, and I will be there next Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
I'm there.
Oh, cool.
I'll come.
Cool.
That'll be a privilege.
Yes, sir. And just like a privilege of you having me on, man. Like I said, I can't
New Breed,
imagine.
You're gonna be on here more and more.
Oh, listen, man.
Damn, I love this.
Listen, man. Whenever you want me to come on here, I will be there. All you got to do is just say the word, and it's the same with our show. Like, you are willing to come on whenever you got the green light. I will send you links. And you are welcome to come on anytime, man.
Oh yeah.
It's just we all family here, man. It's just that's why we treat everybody. We treat them like family. I love
the fact that we all love. I can tell by you, man. You're very knowledgeable of sports, and we all love talking about
absolutely
we have played and our understanding of them. And New Breed, you're a part of why we started this channel.
Oh,
we
man.
To be able to showcase people from all different backgrounds and walks of life, all different creeds, and how they understand and perceive and analyze sports.
Yes, sir.
Life.
Yes, sir.
And everything in between, and then get on and talk about it. And I wanted to, over time, I love, back in the day, I wanted to do sports talk radio and do different things. But I love talking about sports and meeting new people and building relationships. And that's why I really love doing a podcast, because it allows me to bring people on. And you're one of the people that we connected. And people don't know, New Breed and I hit each other with messages all the time.
Yes.
About different things, and we talk about different stuff. And I said to him, man, we got to bring you on the show and start having you on. And then he jumped on last week when we were on. and threw some comments in, and he was saying some stuff that brought it right back to. I gotta have this guy on. It's a privilege to be able to talk to people like that. So I want you to know that, man. This is what Rolling with FD is all about. Well,
yes, sir.
What's it all about? This is the play, bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And I love your show and your content, man, because you speak about real. And then I'm gonna tell you, I never told you this, and you're one of the people who actually got me back into sports cards. Like, I was looking at your shows and I'm like, oh man, he really has a passion for sport cards. And I was just and I'm looking, I'm like, you're one of the guys who actually brought me back into sport cards.
I'm honored,
and
bro.
just loving it. And I'm just like, oh wow, like, and I just have passion. And then when you out to these shows, you communicate with people, and it's like, and you look at the cards and stuff, and then you're acknowledging them, you having fun, and you shouting them out on your channel.
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And your show is basically the inspiration for not only just sports cars, but for me having my own channel, man. Like, I've never told you that, but you're one of the guys who actually got me back into doing YouTube.
It makes me happy.
And I'm just like I said, I'm just so honored to talk to you and just being on the same show. I'm like, oh man, I'm on the same show as FD. I can't.
And I'm sitting over here thinking,
can't remember.
I'm over here thinking I'm on the same show as New Breed.
You know what's funny, man? I have, like, we got a on our podcast, we got a guy named Owen 16, and he always tell me I'm always the plug because I'm always taking pictures and stuff with people, and I'm like, hey man, I'm just lucky. I'm just lucky. Yeah. I can't predict this stuff. Yeah, I don't plan it. It just happens.
Yeah.
So it's just all about just having fun and just connecting with the right people, man. Like, just, how we connected. And I was just like, oh man. And just like, I'm still flabbergasted, man. I just can't believe it. I'm just, oh man, I can't keep this smile off my face, man. It's just, it's just great.
Well, people with similar interests, and I want people to know that there are several people. New Breed is one of them that I'm probably conversing with every day, every other day about something. Something comes up, or I see something, I hit them up, or and that's what I wanted to do. That's what this is what I actually envisioned a while ago, and I thought if I just come out and show people who I am, then it'll start going. And I wanted to take the relationships built through Instagram and through YouTube and bring people on, because to me, what's the play is all about showcasing what is out here. There may be somebody that has 200 subscribers on YouTube, but you can't tell me they don't know sports. When I talk to them and understand what they're talking about, and they're saying stuff that challenges me, because I love to be challenged, people. I don't want you notice tonight, New Breed is on here. We're not just bobblehead. Oh yeah, man. We're not saying the same thing. So I want somebody on here that's gonna give me their perspective. And my man is in a D, and y'all know that I got mad love for Jimmy Wiseman. Want him to develop, want him to grow. And I can critically look at him and see what he's good at naturally and what he needs to work on. And that's what we talked about tonight. And I've hit you up and even asked you before, man, what do you think of Wise, man? What do you think this, that, the other? You met him before? What's his demeanor like? I've asked you certain questions because I'm sitting here and I'm noticing certain things. And I want to let me see if my man can validate what I'm thinking right now. And then when I start thinking about other players. So, man, I appreciate you, the way your mind works and how you break stuff down. And what's your profession, man, at a high level? Because I don't really don't talk about what I do, but what's your are you an analyst by nature, or what do you do?
Man, I just love talking about sports, man.
Okay.
It's just, my thing is just sports. I've always been involved in sports. I play sports. So I've just always that's one of my goals. I wanted to get into the sports field. Like my ultimate goal, I want to actually own an NBA team.
Okay.
That's my ultimate goal, or just being involved in sports.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's my thing. I've had an injury in my knee, so I'm kind of I'm on medical leave from work.
Okay.
So for some reason I tore my quadricep, so I'm still trying to basically heal from this.
Mm-hmm.
Then once that, but then I and one thing about this injury, I haven't I'm not letting it get to me.
Okay.
I'm still healing, still going through the processes and everything. But, right now I'm just on medical leave, just eager to go back to work. But
Well, you keep
until
doing
then,
your
this is my
thing,
work.
bro, because you the way you break it down is it's different and it's special, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I
Yeah, very,
appreciate that.
very much so. You can hang your head on that. There's a lot of people out here who do this for a profession. To me, I've been on live with a few people who have done 400, 500 podcasts.
Oh, wow.
And I try to pride
Oh, wow.
myself with I want them to know who I am and how I think. And I think that's all we can give a person. How do we think and how do we break it down and how do we come to certain conclusions? And those who follow me on Instagram, like I'm not trying to give you, I'm not making up stuff and I'm not trying to give you the cookie cutter bobblehead answers on stuff. There's certain ways that I think about things and I just want to express that. So
Absolutely. And you're not afraid to speak your mind.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people, they'll feel like that they have to just sugarcoat things when they have, a podcast and stuff. It's like I always tell people, if you have a podcast and you're a person who speaks their mind, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to. Just say what's on your mind. If you're knowledgeable about something, if it's anything that you want to do, just do it. Don't care about what anybody thinks. You're gonna have people who are gonna like what you do and that's not gonna do.
That's right.
Not like what you do.
No, and no
it
matter
happens.
what you do, you're gonna
Exactly.
have both sides.
Absolutely. Because I see it all the time. I even know people who do podcasts and be like, well, I'm afraid to talk about this, or I'm afraid to talk about that, or I'm afraid to show my face because I don't want people to know my face because of this. And it's just like, hey, you can't be afraid. Just be out there and just you never know who's watching. You never know who could be a fan of your podcast. You just never know. And I tell anybody, just go for it. I mean, you don't have anything to lose. Just give it a try and see what you do. It doesn't matter if you have 1 subscriber, 100, 1,000,000. It's always going to be people who are going to understand what you're talking about, and that's going to be like, wow, they be a fan. I'm like, okay, this person knows what I'm going through and stuff. So, and he has the same thought process as I do. So, just don't be afraid of it. Just do whatever's on your mind.
And if you're hesitant to me, and if you think like, man, maybe I don't want to say this, just lean on what's your logic.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody faults you for having your logic, then they wasn't for you anyway.
Right. And I would say this too. Like anybody, like if you're fans of someone or you follow podcasts and you're wondering, yo, man, how can I get successful like them? Just ask them. I'm pretty sure they're probably not gonna have a issue with you asking them that. Reach out to them on Instagram or any social media. Like, man, how do I get a 1,000 subscribers? How do I get 5,000? How do I get 10,000? It's no hurt in just asking.
It's true.
I just be like, man,
as they say, closed mouth don't get fed, right?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
I can't tell you how many people I've met. We talked about autographs earlier, or many different aspects of life that you have to speak up in that time, in that short window. You have a short window to get somebody's attention to say something to them. Do you take advantage of that short window or do you not? And that's, to me, we talk about elevator pitches. We talk about a lot of different stuff in life. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And then to me, can you recognize talent? There have been a lot of people that have been around people, and somebody said, "Oh man, they only got 300 Instagram followers," or they only. But you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who that person could be in 10 to 15 years, or 5 years, or 2 months. You do not know, or who they're influenced by, or who are they influencing. You do not know. I always got
that's
taught
true.
by elders
That's
in
true.
my family to treat everybody the way I would want to be treated. People say that's kind of corny. And also, I don't care if I'm walking in. I used to have a sales job where I would talk to many different people. The CEO of a company, down to the person sweeping the floor, cleaning toilets, and pulling trash and taking it out. I'm gonna treat everybody along that spectrum the exact same way.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you:
Yeah.
do you think having those particular jobs helped you out as far as like being on podcasts and everything like that? Do you think that?
Well, working in sales helped me out. It helped open me up. I will say I went to grad school, and grad school helped me. So this is a testimony to people too.
Yes,
If you
sir.
think that you're doing something, and I used to think, oh, okay, I'm good in school, but I'm good in school in South Side Chicago. Okay, I'm pretty decent football player, but I'm a decent football player in the league that I'm in, the conference that I'm in. Oh, I'm a pretty good problem solver and I'm a strategic thinker, but that's only amongst the circle of friends that I have. All those things are individual minor leagues of something. But if you keep developing and pushing yourself, when I was sitting in a classroom with people from all over the world, Japan, Korea, China, South Africa, just India, just a whole bunch of places, New York, Chicago, San Francisco. And then I'm raising my hand. I had worked some jobs. I ran I managed a business, a facility that was a motel. I had done different things. And then I raised my hand and I got something to say. And 60% of the room doesn't have that experience at all. They don't know anything about what I just said, but they're listening and they're kind of learning and picturing it. These are very intelligent people. So they're putting it all together. But then I started realizing I'm not just that kid from the South Side. I'm not just that kid that was a football player in that league. And then I got blessed to come up in a family where you would never, New Breed, just going to be an athlete. So you better be on that academics. My mom and dad tell me all the time, you should know how they made the glue and applied it in the spine of that book. Right? So you should be on that. And then as an African American male, it's an insult for someone to think that you just play ball. So,
absolutely.
So these are the mindsets that I had when I was coming up. That New Breed, I was very competitive. I talk about this now with my children around here, and they look at me like Junior looks at me like, man, what you talking about? I take him to school in the morning. I was talking to him this morning at school. Man, I wanted to work, bro. I wanted the homework assignment. I put myself. My father was military, Air Force, so he taught me
mine too.
how to set my own schedule. So I would get out of elementary school at 2:35, and by 3:00 I'm home, had my snack, and at 3:00, 1,500 hours, I'm on academics, and I'm going to run that down until about 6:30. And then I'm going to show people. At an early age, I started showing people my homework, showing my mom my homework, showing my dad my homework. And I was very competitive in the classroom. So even before I ever went to a practice or played a sport or anything, I was getting very competitive. And I liked when we used to have some kids in school who would come up and try to talk a little trash to you about their schoolwork, this and the other. But I wanted them to know that I'm about to go to practice. When I get out of practice, I'm going to go home. And I'm still going to try to knock you out the park.
Oh yeah. That's the competitiveness in you.
That's my mind.
That's that's the compet. That's what you were grown up to. You were grown up to be competitive with everything that you did with sports, but in life as well.
Yeah.
It's a competitive world out here, man. And
what I like about my parents though, and my grandmother, and both grandmothers, and my great aunts, and everybody that I came in contact with, will plant a little seed and water a little bit in my mind. One of my great aunts was the first black woman to graduate with a master's degree in education in the state of Mississippi. And
Oh
she used to
wow.
tell me all the time as a kid, I would sit in the car with her and I would be in the passenger seat and she was driving and she would ask me certain questions. She would dictation and pronunciation, she would just listen to. And she would tell me all the time, you didn't say that word right. I want you to say it 5 times in a row for me.
Oh
And so
man.
I had to say it 5 times in a row. And she would always tell me, Fabian, when you grow up, you're going to be a big man. You're going to be a tall guy. People going to look at you and think certain things as soon as you walk in the door, and you're going to bust them when they realize that that's not you. You're much more than that. You're not just a football player. You're not just a whatever you're going to be because you're athletic. I can tell. Because she used to coach female basketball and all that. You're very athletic, but you're going to do much more than that. So get ready. And then you're going to want to be in a situation where you can challenge and push your children because they saw you do. So it's about building and growing. And I used to take that to heart. And when other people told me things as well, I used to take it to heart. And my father used to always tell me, don't ever walk around thinking, I don't care if your name is in the paper. I don't care if you're all conference. I don't care what you are. Don't ever walk around thinking that you're just a football player. And so those things really helped me out, man. So I never really, I took that stuff seriously. I wanted to play. I wanted to have my name in the paper. I wanted to be recognized. When we played against some people that were supposed to be good, I used to always say I want to crack them. I want to let them feel me and let them know who I am. But when I walk off that field, I got homework that I got to get at. I'm not just about to get and this and the other. And then I tell people all the time too. I was from the South Side of Chicago, but I was actually from my parents' house. So there was a bunch of stuff I didn't do, New Breed. My parents were very strict. I couldn't pick up the phone at home and call. I couldn't call you, man. We were in the same class unless I asked permission first. And then at some point, somebody's going to come tell me it's time to get off. And if they say that one time, it's time to get off the phone. So that kind of stuff just helped shape me and take stuff very seriously where people would say, you act older than who you are. I think that's just naturally. And probably even today, there are some things that I'm very, very serious about. If you ask people in my household, what do I think about and what I talk about? I talk about family first. I talk about how we raise our children here and what we're teaching them. You see Junior on a video, but Junior knows we're talking the whole way to that show. We're talking the whole way home. I'm parenting him. Sometimes some people probably saw me at a show parenting him, getting on to him and asking why is he acting the way he's acting right now, or praising him for, man, you went over and talked to 3 or 4 people and carried that conversation. And then sometimes it was the blessing of children, man. He'll say some things about sports, and I'm like, where is he getting that from? But it makes complete sense. Makes complete sense.
And
that's what it's all about, man.
And it's the knowledge that you get from your parents, and you're putting that to your kids, and they're gonna respect that because you see that they're doing the same thing that you're doing, and then you just see that and you like, man, it just made me know I did a great job, and they're following in my footsteps, and it's a great thing.
What I tell people all the time is, though, I had to learn too. Everything in life is work, man. You already know this. I'm not telling you you don't know. Everything in life is work. When I first met my girlfriend, I lived in one city in LA, and I don't even talk about this too much on here. And I drove to another city in LA, outside of LA, to work. So each day, man, I probably drove 4 to 5 hours.
Whew.
You're talking about half of that or so to work, half of that after work. And on Thursdays and Fridays, it was worse. And then before Julia was born, I used to work 7 days a week because I wanted something. So then I would get on the phone, and it's all about perspective, right? Iron sharpens iron. So I get on the phone with my dad, and I'd be like, man, this driving is eating at me. And he would just say, well, if you want something, you got to work for it, right? You want your family to be a certain way, you got to work for it. He said, when I first met your mom, right before you were born, I was living on the near south side of Chicago and driving to the west side. And if you know Chicago, you know Chicago.
Oh, yes.
Nobody's doing it. Nobody's
doing it.
So he said, you're actually doing the same thing I was doing before you were born because I wanted something. And then we decided to move. And so when Junior was born, I said to myself, I put a stake in the ground. and said, "Well, we got to move when it's time for this guy to go to school because I want him to be somewhere where he could start putting his feet in the soil, start growing, and have people challenging him in the classroom, and let's get his academics going." And my girlfriend's right on board. We're talking about that. We're setting goals, and then we move. I always say it's probably the best money I ever spent in my life, man. Because now you can look at people and see how they benefited from the decision that you made. I could have decided to kick back, do something else, and chill out. And that, I used to know some kids in my school. Their parents would say, "Oh, they'll get there." Now we all need help if we want to be successful. We all got to have somebody pulling us while we're trying to take a step up, and that's how we get somewhere. So and there's gonna be other stuff that we got to do as a family unit to try to move on and do other stuff. But to me, that's just what it's all about. That's how I came through. I never played a sporting event. Now I tell you this: my father had a bad car accident when I was 7 years old.
Oh man!
Stopped working at the age of 32. Right?
Wow!
And I never went to a sporting event in high school. I never went to a homecoming in college, and even my senior year, he came down for Parents' Day with my mom, and he drove down. Well, he was not there. It could be raining, it could be snowing, it could be 100 degrees, it could be 2 degrees. I would look up and he would be right there. I could make a big hit on the field and look up and he's sitting right there. And that's the same man that did that from the time I was in second grade and in front of the school. I recited Langston Hughes' Mother to Son. He was sitting there. So that's the kind of parenting, bro. My mom and dad put some work in. I always joke with people and say they punched the clock and never took a lunch, bro.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like you think that, but then when you become like that, now you start to understand. Like, yeah, I got a better understanding of this now because you literally got to work, and it's just like it never fails.
I never believe I can kick back. And I think my family tells me all the time that I should celebrate more wins, but I never feel like I can just kick back. I think there's always, if you take a breath, maybe sit down and have a glass of water, that could be your strategy session for 2 or 3 more things that you need to get done.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. And I also appreciate as I get older, my personal health and the health of people around me are very important. What do we eat like? What are we consuming? Is it beverages or is it water? Or is it, I always talk about now eating out the ground, getting some fruits and vegetables in you instead of driving by a place and getting something in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I used to snap green beans with my grandmother for hours. I probably need to do more stuff like that than other stuff. So, I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. And I remember doing that with my grandmother every time I visit Chicago.
Yeah, bro.
Because Chicago, they my grandmother on my mom's side, because I remember they used to stay over there by 109th and State Street.
Oh, I know that.
On the south side.
I went to high school off 111th State.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm from the far south side, man.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's where my mom grew up at. It was around that area.
Around Roseland and
yes. Yes.
I grew up with a guy who I went to college with who lived off 111 in Wentworth.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Those were them good old days, man. Those are them good old days. I remember just visiting there every year, visiting my grandmother, my grandparents' house. And it was around there. I used to have a time just going down there and just with cousins. And I remember I used to visit down there. They used to have it used to be selling snow cones and ice cream.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Okay. It's like they used to sell them. They used to make them. You didn't have to go to no ice cream truck. I used to go to cousins and aunts and uncles' houses just to get that there.
That's right.
So just for free, they were just doing it just because they wanted to.
And so we got to create those days for the next generation, man.
Absolutely.
How they gonna look back and have fun and think about good old days and this, that, and the other. It's on us now.
Yeah, but it's now. It's just like the younger generation. They don't know how it is to have fun. Like they're too busy on their phones to that's their level of fun. Just doing that and partying and smoking and drinking and all that. They want to do that, and they don't know how it is to have fun, like we did back in the day, with the games and playing football outside and the game.
When college football becomes tackle, all of it.
Yes. Even the little messed up games we play, ringing people doorbells and just running. I miss them days too. Yeah. Like just go up to someone's house and just ring the doorbell and just run.
Yeah.
I miss them days. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that now. Don't do that. Hey, FD, I'm gonna tell you. Don't do that today, especially in Chicago.
That's right. or Detroit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
New Breed, it's a pleasure, man, having.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Big John,
absolutely.
Very well. Big John knows. Big John's from Chicago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's a pleasure having you here, man.
Oh,
like
man.
I said, anytime that you want to have me next Wednesday. You just
because we're having a show I believe Thursday, because we normally have it every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern time. We normally have it, but because of the Piston game we have Wednesday, we're gonna change it to Thursday afternoon for this week.
Understood.
But next week we're gonna have it at a regular time, 8:30.
Man, you just let me know whatever day. I usually try to do a podcast on Sundays and Mondays.
Okay.
And at this point, I used to do a lot of like impromptu stuff, but now I try to spend more time with family and do things at home. But if you let me know of another day throughout the week, if it's this week or next week, I'll be honored to come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Because we used to have it every Monday and Thursday, but we had to change it because of the NFL season, because games Monday and Thursday. So you had to just do it like every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. to D313 XP. Man, good show. Just check us out, man. Like and subscribe. Right. And even I have my own channels too, the New Breed 313 Sports. And then I have another channel which I speak about everything, which is 313 the New Breed Real Talk.
Okay, but pick that up.
Yeah. And I just, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you having me on here, man. I just thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, man.
And one thing, and I always wanted to do this.
What's up?
On your show, I always wanted to say this. And we're rolling. I always wanted to say that. Man, I always wanted to.
I appreciate it. When we came up with the channel, I wanted to have something that was inclusive and had movement to it.
Yeah.
And to me, there's nothing like and we'll roll. Because everything could be encompassed in that, but it excludes some other stuff. So to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So wherever we go, bro. Like right now, we're rolling. We're being analytical and talking about something. We kick back and having fun. If we're watching the game and breaking it down. So I have a friend I went to college with that lives in Phoenix. Man, we'll be in here on the phone talking as a game is happening, as if we're sitting right by each other. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it's about, man. Just having fun, no matter what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
That's all that matters.
Well, you keep your eyes on Wiseman, man. We'll be talking about his development further and what's going on with him, because I still believe in the young man. I just want him to take the proper steps and still believe in himself on what he has, because the glimpses that I see are very different to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He just has to just stay focused and just play his game. No matter what anybody else is talking about, he just has to play, because it's gonna be. If it's not the Pistons, it's gonna be some team that is going to honor his talents, and that's gonna give him a chance to play.
You know what I always want to know? I would always like to know. Maybe we'll know this one day in a documentary or something. What did Golden State and the Pistons talk about when it came down to trading and acquiring him?
I always wondered that.
That was a conversation about something.
Yeah, I wonder about that. Like, how did that go down? How did Troy Weaver finesse that deal?
Because I
Like, I
haven't been. You
wonder.
can look at the history of some teams where there's a lot of movement between those teams. There's not a lot of movement between Detroit and Golden State when it comes to play.
No.
So how did that go down? And is he there? Because I thought about many things, but the thing that makes sense to me is he there being evaluated on who he is and how he gets down, and what's the dog like in him? How does he come to practice? What's his mindset in the weight room? Is he hitting the trainers and getting treatment on time? Let's find out who he is as a professional. Because it's not that situation is not just about can he dribble and shoot a basketball.
Yes,
To me,
absolutely.
it's bigger than that.
And I know and I noticed when he came to Detroit, he was happy. I still see him during practice, smiling, just enjoying himself. Even when I met him, I said, can I take a picture? He said, yeah. Then he took a picture. He smiled, did it, and I was just like, wow, that's that. I was amazed at that. And he's a good kid. He's a very nice kid, man, and you could just tell he loves to play.
Well, his background, his family, and how he came through, he's different. He's different. And you got to think, when he was on stage with Golden State on the press conference, they started asking him about his playing time and stuff. At the time, he was like, hey, I'm 20, 21 years ago. I put it all in God's hands. And I just don't hear about a lot of our young basketball players in the NBA putting things in perspective. Then he opened up and talked about how he went to a therapist with Golden State. Every team has them now, people, if you don't know.
Right.
Happened in the history of the NBA. Every team has them. But he actually opened up, which he did not have to do, in a press conference. And Klay Thompson has also done this, where he's opened up and talked about some of the high-level conversations that he had and what he's talking about. Why I did that. I was like, man, this dude is young and different. So who can carry that weight? He's talking about somebody who had things in perspective to carry that weight. So
right, and then like I said, he hasn't played that many games. He hasn't really. I think he only played a handful of games in college too because of injury.
Played three in college because of injuries, and then supposedly Anthony Hardaway was giving his family some money to move. So he played 3 games in college. He's played 81, 84 in the pros. This young man is 22 years old, but has to be 23 in March, and has played less than 100 games. And if you look at other players, there are thousands of games that have been played. So
and he's still, like I said, he's a young guy, and he wants to work on his game and get better. Because some young guys, they just content on, they don't want to change anything on their game. They just want to play the same way. He wants to change that. Now you see him shooting more threes and everything, and he's trying to elevate his game. And I don't have an issue with that at all.
Neither do I.
I don't have an issue with it. And I want him to succeed, and I want the Pistons to give him a chance to play. Because I think with him and the young team that they have, I think they can really do something. It's just staying healthy. A lot of these, majority of our team, they were injured majority year. So they got to just come together.
Cade, man. Cade's shooting poorly in the preseason. What do you think?
I love Cade, man. I love Cade. I love his game.
You think he's on that level?
Yeah. Oh, say it again.
You think he's on the upper echelon level as a guard?
Absolutely. I think he can be. It's just all about him being healthy. And he's gotten stronger. His game has gotten better.
He looks different. Yeah, he does.
And I think, and I also think too, man, that I think with him playing for Team USA is gonna make him a better player too. Because there's a lot of these guys that come from playing Team USA has gotten better.
They have.
Him, and just like last year when when Keldon Johnson played for the Spurs, he played and his game has gotten better. So I think with Cade, I think his game is just gonna get better. I think he just has to his game has adjusted with him being a point guard, a bigger point guard. And I think he has to get used to that as well. But I like his game, man. I think he's gonna have a better year this year. And he's just and also he's one of the nicest guys you can meet as well.
He
He's
seems
a
like that.
cool.
He does seem like that. You know who I love up there? I'm gonna tell you who I love is Sasser.
Yes.
Sasser's a ball.
Yes. I like Sasser. I thought us picking him, I think that was the steal of the draft.
Yeah, bro. He's a
getting
ball.
him. I was surprised he was still available because I was just like, when I heard it, I said, "Oh, we got Marcus Sasser." Wow.
He can get it, people. He can shoot the three. He can toss. He has vision on the court. He's an alley-oop captain.
Mm-hmm.
But just so you know, Purdy just threw an interception.
To
end this game. It is 22-17 with 24 seconds left. Minnesota's about to get into victory offense. Oh, this game is over. This game is already over. They're already this game is over.
Man,
so let me give you some stats. You know, we get on the numbers. Let me give you some stats before you get up out of here.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, not a bad game though. 21 of 30, 272 yards, 9.1 average, 81.5 passer rate, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Oh wow.
The problem with tonight, it's not really Purdy. They couldn't run the ball. Christian McCaffrey has 15 carries for 45 yards, 1 touchdown. That's not going to get it.
And it just shows how important Deebo Samuel really is to that offense.
He is.
Because he didn't even play that game.
And he has a fractured bone in his shoulder. Now, other end, Kirk Cousins, 35 of 45. That's probably one of the best games he's had in a while. 35 of 45, 378 yards, 8.4 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 107.2 rating. That's why they won. They also, if you look at the NFL today, all these teams can't really run the ball. They only had 73 yards rushing, split between 2 runners. One had 39, one had 31.
Yeah. That and they needed that game. They needed a bounce back game with all the stuff that's been going on in Minnesota with, Justin Jefferson getting hurt and everything. So they're going through a transition, and they need to figure out if they're going to keep Kirk Cousins or not.
Yeah, true. I believe he's still going to get moved.
Yeah,
now,
I believe too.
Trade calls, I believe, but I think he's going to get moved.
Yeah, because it's just a lot. It's a lot going on in that division as well. It's just a lot of that with Kirk Cousins and then
how the Lions got beat down yesterday.
That was rough.
Machado Sports says salute 313. More blessings, my guy. You got a new subscriber. I'm telling you, he's the real deal, people.
Oh, thank you.
I don't bring people on what's to play.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Machado. Thank you. I will follow back. You got my word.
Guy. It's good that y'all connected. He's a good guy.
Thank you.
He says, Kata Pure, a Hooper, been watching since Oklahoma State. Just got to stay healthy. I hope that can happen. I still want to know what was the source of what was going on with his legs. Was it shin splints or something else? We don't really know.
Yeah, it was a shin.
Okay.
He had a shin injury last year, and it just kept him out the whole year. It was just he wanted to play. He wanted to come back and play, but the doctors just told him, "Hey, it's just better to get surgery and just come back next season because the team's not doing anything. So you might as well just go ahead and get surgery and get that done." So I think that was the determining factor with that.
Yeah, Sasser is a dog. I'm telling you, he just look out for that young man. He's gonna do some things. Shows you have how having weapons around you make a QB like a star. Herbert needs weapons around him. To me, these two players are the exact opposite. Herbert needs more real talent around him. Purdy has it. We're gonna see what he's gonna do with it.
I gotta see, but the thing is, I think Herbert has talent. It's just that sometimes I think what's wrong with the Chargers, their play calling drives me insane. It drives me nuts. Like I don't understand it. The play calling. I think he has the talent. I like Keenan Allen is good. No, Eckler is one of the best running backs in the league. I just think that their play calling is just
The coaching is a problem up in there. I agree with that.
Absolutely, and they have a good defense. It's just that they just the play calling. I just don't understand. It's been like that for the Chargers for years.
Yeah, long
even before Herbert got there.
Oh yeah, long time. Back when they were in San Diego, long time.
Yeah.
Machado said something here that I want to say. Shout out to the chat for sticking around. I always appreciate you all. We got Monday Night Football going on. We got a bunch of stuff happening. I appreciate people spending their time with us because you could be anywhere, but you chose to be here. And I'm telling you, I knew that my man New Breed came through. It was going to be a special conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
I will be in contact with you.
Yes, sir.
Can you hit me right now with your other page that you talked about?
Oh, absolutely.
Hit me up with that, and then we'll be in contact about the podcast coming on and all that. But
absolutely.
We'll get you back here before the end of the year, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.